Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and our Simple Abundance here. We're following through Sarah Ban Beathnach's book Simple Abundance, and we're now in the month of November, if you're watching this real time. I'm going to talk about November 1st and 2nd, and then I'll give a nod to the joyful simplicities that Sarah has for us in each month. And if the video looks weird, it's just because I cannot find my tripod. Since I moved, I don't know where it is. So on these last few videos, I've just been trying to find like anywhere that I can prop up the camera. So apologize for the weird angle. Oh, Annabelle's gonna come up. She's finally comfortable enough to come out. Oh, you see her tail. She's most comfortable when I'm here. I think she hides if I'm gone, but that's my co-host on the channel. That's my kitty. So November 1st is called Embracing the Ebb. And I like this because the last video we talked about magic and joy, and it's not always easy, right? To always find joy if you're struggling. And so this is about embracing the fact that there's going to be light and dark times. She tells a story about a queen who at autumn time just couldn't figure out what was wrong with her. She just was distraught and couldn't figure out how to reclaim her happy feelings. And she consulted everybody, like the psychics, the mystics, the physician, the stargazer, the alchemist, the herbalist, the philosopher. So she had them all in there and nobody could figure it out. And so then the gardener comes in and he says, Your Majesty, I can tell you what's going on if you just come downstairs with me to the garden. And so maybe she might not have done that normally because he probably was not, at her level of sovereignty. But anyway, she went out to the garden. And he says, Come into the garden, Majesty, beyond the walls of your self-imprisonment, and I will disclose your dilemma. It's not your body or your mind that it's ailing, it's your soul that needs healing. For while you are a mighty and powerful queen, you're not divine. You are suffering from a human condition that affects all of us. Earthly souls ebb and flow in sorrow and joy according to the seasons of emotions. Just as the seasons of the natural world move through the cycle of life, death, and rebirth. We talked about that recently too, about how you can plant something and it lays dormant over the winter and then it will come up in the spring. That doesn't mean that there's nothing happening under the ground during that time, right? And he goes on to say, These are the days to be grateful for the harvest of the heart, however humble it might be, and to prepare for the coming of the year's closure. Even now, the season of daylight diminishes and the time of darkness increases. But the true light is never extinguished in the natural world, and it is the same in your soul. Embrace the ebb, my beloved queen, and do not fear the darkness. So I forgot to say, too, that when she went down to the garden, she hadn't been down there in a while, and she was really taken by all the beautiful colors of the fall leaves. And I mean, it looked different than her preference probably was spring and summer, but she still was able to take in the beauty of an alternate season. So it's like the light and the dark, right? And he goes on to say, For as night follows day, the light will return, and you will know contented hours once again. Of this I'm sure. The unhappy queen considered his wisdom thoughtfully and asked the gardener how he possessed a secret knowledge of inner peace during the seasons of all emotion. The gardener led her to a brass sundial, and it read, This too shall pass. I really like that entry. It's a neat story, and I definitely can relate to it right now. And with the days getting so much shorter too, it's I don't know. I guess I have to just embrace the darkness. And I have to, not even only like in nature, I just have to realize that there's going to be happy times and there's going to be sad times. And then in today's entry, it's called Caring for the Soul. So the gardeners had said to the queen that she needed to care for her soul, that it wasn't a physical or mental thing. It was on a soul level. And she was probably holding herself up to that divine level, but he was saying, you're not divine, you're a human. This is only natural for humans. And in this Caring for the Soul entry from November 2nd, Sarah talks about when the great creator created the heavens and the earth. And then after that, it was only after it was created that the creator pronounced it very good. We talked recently about perfection, and Sarah pointed out that even the great creator didn't say that the world was perfect. It was very good, was how it was qualified. Go figure. Men and women have tried to do... Wait, hold on. Divinity was to live and move and have its being in a creature made of mud. Wait, I don't know. I'm coming into this in a really weird spot. All right. I'm just going to skip over that part that I just started reading. Obviously, after 25,000 years of trying, we're not meant to understand the essence of the soul, she says, but we can come to know her, for we were created for no other reason than to love, nurture, nourish, sustain, protect, uplift, inspire, delight, charm, and comfort the beloved presence within each of us. And did you know that today, November 2nd, is All Souls Day? I don't know if that's the same as All Saints Day. But All Souls Day, I think it's different. She talks to us about how it's been celebrated since the Middle Ages, and it's a time to remember the souls that are no longer with us anymore. It is through the, quote, small details of everyday life that we make our souls feel welcome. Tending the things around us and becoming sensitive to the importance of home, daily schedule, and maybe even the clothes we wear are ways of caring for the soul. Today, be willing to ask your guest what she requires to make her stay more pleasurable. So that would be like your authentic self and your inner self and your soul. We've said this before because we've had a couple of entries where she's really asked us, what do you need? And I think even when I went over the Cheryl Richardson book at one point, Cheryl had us ask ourselves those things. So if you really ask your soul, what do I need? You might get an answer. It might be like, I need a puppy, or I need a hug, or one of the things she said is to caress a cat. Go to the farmer's market. Call a friend. Send a funny message to a friend. Take a nap. Order delivery food. Watch a favorite movie. Have a good cry. Find an old-fashioned diner and have a root beer float. So maybe there's something sentimental like that you can think of that will cheer you up. Whatever it might be, she will tell you. So Sarah says, just ask. It might be something good to start asking yourself every day. But I sort of wonder, I guess I'm thinking about it from a negative standpoint, but I'm thinking like, if I did ask myself that and then it was something I couldn't give myself, then, or if it was something I really knew that I wanted, but I just haven't been successful in attaining it, then I don't know if that would make me feel better. But maybe I can at least ask and start taking note of what I hear from my inner self. What do you think? Think you could try that? So let's switch over to the November Joyful Simplicities. And I already cross-referenced with the older book, the Day Book of Comfort and Joy, and there's only one in there that she didn't include in this new one, and I'll read it. This is the newer book. She encourages us to maybe think about making a Native American dream catcher. Do you guys know what that is? I actually have one. And it used to be in my bedroom, and now I have it on a closet knob here. It's near my bed, I guess. But it's a tradition where there may be good dreams and there may be bad dreams, right? But the dream catchers are meant to capture our minds for the night. Hold on. Just that it's a reminder of good and bad dreams. But if you can, it's supposed to catch the bad dreams, I thought. But maybe it catches the good dreams. But bad dreams are caught in the dream catcher's net, where they disappear with the first light of the new day. Yeah. And then there's a hole in the middle to let happy dreams pass through to the subconscious mind. I didn't realize that. That's kind of neat. So anyway, you can make your own, and she has some instructions in there. The next one is write your own personal grace and offer it for the first time on Thanksgiving. So that would be like a prayer of thanks, right? This is a wonderful restorative because you must carefully consider those things for which you're truly grateful. And then there's a book she recommends, 100 Graces. It's edited by Marcia and Jack Kelly. I don't know what Thanksgiving's going to be like for you. It's not really been like a big holiday for me. Anyway, like COVID aside. But I sort of have like a, over the past few years, I've just sort of had like a dread around the holiday season because there's been a lot of family issues. And 2 Christmases ago, it's kind of like that was kind of like the breaking point of where things started to go really differently for me after that Christmas. Anyway, Christmas is not in November, but I am starting to think about the holidays, and I think I'm just going to be ignoring them this year. They actually already have Christmas music on. You know, you forget that that's like November 1st. They start playing it. I don't want anything to do with it. Like, I'm not putting up a tree. I'm just going to ignore it. Just going to ignore it all. That sounds really bad to say that in the middle of the Joyful Simplicities, because here we are talking about like joyful things about the holidays can be like really festive time, but I think for me it's just going to be easier to just pretend they're not even happening this year. I don't know about you guys. Maybe you're in a similar situation where you're just going to be alone, or it just will be different than normal, or you also have family issues. She talks about making a basket up of food and bringing it to a shelter. And I've actually heard that, you know, people are always wanting to volunteer around the holiday times, but I've heard that shelters get so much interest in people helping out at that time of year that they'd actually rather have people help at other times of the year. So I think that's a really nice thought. But I'm thinking also perhaps you could adopt a family that you know, or maybe through your church or another organization, and do the meal for them so that it was like a really personal thing and you knew whose lives that you were touching. A couple of Christmases ago, you know how you can adopt a child or a family or something? Well, I haven't actually done that in like a formal way. I've done it through organizations before, but I know you can do it at um, like at a supermarket or whatever, where you pick somebody and then you find out what they want. But what my sister and I did a couple years ago, my friend had been through a hurricane and they totally lost their home basically, and uh, they had nothing, and it was, I think it was like August of that year, but they still hadn't recovered. They didn't even have furniture or anything. And so I said, like, my sister and I would like to adopt you because, like, we wanted to do something for charity anyway. And so we 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 had so much fun putting the things together, and it meant so much because I mean, my sister didn't really know my friend and her kids, but she got to know them through the things that we were buying because the mother had given us some suggestions, and it just touched their lives in such an amazing way. And I'm not saying that you can't get that same feeling for helping somebody anonymously, but for this suggestion of making a meal for Thanksgiving, it might be neat if you know of somebody, or if you have a friend that would tell you of someone in their life that, like, so that it's more of a personal thing, and that you can give it as a gift and actually experience the person's gratitude instead of it being anonymous, I guess I'm saying. Watch the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. You know, I probably will do that. That might be the one thing I'll do. I do usually like to see the parade. Although, I wonder, are they going to do that? Maybe they'll do it, but they won't have the crowds this year? I wonder what the plans are. Have fun choosing your own Advent calendar. I don't know when Advent starts this year, but it is usually, sometimes it's near the end of November. And then the next one is more about saying grace. And so she's encouraging us because Thanksgiving is in November, right? And so it's kind of like the times that we're thinking about, being thankful. And so she's encouraging us to go beyond the gratitude exercises and try throughout the entire day to have moments of saying thank you for things like, thank you for this cup of coffee, or thank you for my car starting, just being thankful all day long. So that's quite a thought, right? You think you could do that? And then I don't think this is going to happen this year either, because I think that a lot of stores are not doing Black Friday, but she says to not rush out and do, Thanksgiving Thanksgiving Day or Black Friday shopping. Instead, make a pot of homemade turkey vegetable soup, write out a shopping list for your festive desserts, such as Christmas plum pudding and rum, or Guinness cake instructions. Create an Advent wreath, prepare the menorah, and start listening to holiday music. Do you guys usually have like the Christmas changeover on Thanksgiving? Like, that wasn't really a tradition in my family, but I know, like, my stepmother, that was what they did. It was like at the end of Thanksgiving, they turned, like, their table switched over to Christmas linens and everything. And I don't remember, they might have even put their tree up, like, on Thanksgiving. That was their family tradition. So Sarah is encouraging us probably to think about some of those family traditions as well. And think about what's gonna warm your heart. And then, what's the one? Oh, there must be, and I'll have to look through because I always like to cross-reference in the old book. There must be an entry in the old book about guardian angels because she says, if you have been hesitant to strike up a reciprocal relationship with your guardian angel, don't be. You have everything to gain and nothing to lose but your skepticism. So there must be an entry about angels. Go back and watch my angel council entry. I think that was from August, maybe, about my little council. I haven't had a meeting with any of them in a while. Maybe I need to do that. Sorry, I just am going through a lot, so sorry if this is scattered and I don't sound super enthused, but thank you for watching, and I hope that even despite my attitude that you can take some of these joyful simplicities and add some things in of your own to make this month a month of gratitude. And it's okay, I guess I should take the advice of Sarah, it's okay to embrace the times, like the ebb and flow of not feeling good. So that's where I'm at. Sorry. But it's okay to embrace that and then just realize it's part of the human experience. Thank you for being along with me on the ride. I'll try to rally and have more to say and be more positive, hopefully. Love to you all.